I died a little inside. Oh God. Individual aside. An individual. Okay. And I'll read you. Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm talking about here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Welcome back. I'm Dina Haynes, and I am reading my book called Neesa, the first book in the original reality book series. Go get it now. It's on Amazon and Amazon, well, Kindle Unlimited. I was going to say Amazon Prime. I guess it's the same thing. Yeah, so if you're new to my channel, now is the time to go back to the beginning because we're kind of approaching the climax. Feels like I'm talking about sex, but no. Okay, so we're approaching the climax, and you're going to want to go back and figure out who these people are and why they're here, why they're at where they're at in the story. So there are links in the video as well as down below in the description where you can find your place, whether that's the beginning or you've skipped a few videos, whatever brought you here, and catch yourself up because I'm about to drop some spoilers on chapter number 28, and you're gonna wanna tune out right now. Chapter 28. Oh, right. Reuben's in Denver. He's on his mission now and regretting leaving without telling Denise. Shame on him. But it was kind of sweet. He basically had his aha moment. He's sitting in the cafe in Starbucks and he realized that this was not something he should have done alone, or at least not without his significant other being some part of it in some kind of way. So let's move on to chapter 29. We're going to see what's going on Neesa's end. Last time we left her, she'd cried her eyes out and I think cried herself to sleep. So let's catch up with her and see where she's at right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon. That way you'll become immediately aware as soon as the next chapter goes up. And because we're fastly approaching the end of this story and you're not going to want to miss it. I'm thinking I'm going to do the next story in this series. So because I'm having so much fun with this. So let's get on to chapter 29. Chapter 29, Neesa's perspective. When I opened my eyes, it was still mostly dark. I stretched my jaw in a yawn and sat up. Last night's disappointment in Ben still colored my mood a dismal shade, casting a shadow over any activities I had planned. I glanced around, but Enola was nowhere in sight. She must have gone outside through the doggy door, or maybe to her bed in my office. A gurgle accompanied the twist my stomach gave as I bent to pick up my phone off the floor and swiped across the screen. It was 6:28, almost breakfast time. Then I remembered I hadn't finished my late-night snack. Using the flashlight app on my phone, I took the spoiled yogurt cup to the sink and grabbed an individual-sized package of almonds before I walked out of the kitchen. I encountered my shoes in the foyer where I'd left them and picked them up as I padded to my bedroom to change. I didn't have any appointments until the afternoon, so I could work from home until then. Where the heck was Enola? I waited until I was in my master closet to turn on a light. The quiet of my house was soothing, reminding me of when I'd been single and alone. If it was good for me back then, why couldn't this time apart from Ben benefit both of us? If I were lucky, he'd come back from his trip ready to tackle being a father and, wow, maybe being a husband. I was getting ahead of myself. First and foremost, we needed to talk. I called out, "Enola!" She answered with a whine. "Where's my little nugget?" I said without turning around. I finished dressing in my yoga pants and long-sleeve cotton shirt, put on my favorite mukluk slipper socks, and flicked off the light. I tossed an almond in my mouth and walked back into the bedroom where I turned on the bedside lamp. I spit out the almond. What the? Ben? Instinctively, I knew it wasn't Reuben sitting in the chair by the far window. Both the shadows and disbelief kept me confused for what seemed like an eternity. David, in my bedroom. And there was Enola in his arms, squirming to get loose. He must have squeezed her too tight because she called out and whimpered. I died a little inside at the sound. I said, Don't hurt her, please. My heart kicked at my ribcage so hard it almost stopped, and the rush of blood in my ears was deafening. He repositioned her in his arms and said, You care about her a lot, don't you? I said, Yes, air rushing out of my lungs too fast for my diaphragm to keep up. Questions swirled in my mind, and panic quickened my pulse as I tried to figure out what he was doing here, how he'd found my house, and how he'd gotten past my alarm. Did I even arm it after I got in last night? He continued, I know what that's like, because see, I care about something, and it's been kept from me by a repulsive, undeserving prick. You weren't even his to begin with. He didn't know you existed until I hired him, but that was my mistake. I shouldn't have used an outside source to find you. Or I guess if I had to do it over again, I'd hire a woman. He was rambling. What did his incoherent babble have to do with me? I said, what are you talking about? He laughed bitterly. Doesn't surprise me he didn't tell you, but how fucking cool that I get to be the one to break the news. There was no time to make sense of David's presence, though I suspected Reuben had something to do with it. With rapid-fire thoughts, I knew I needed to get my dog from him and get him out of my house. My hand tightened reflexively, and I realized I was still holding my phone. If I could just open it and click the emergency button. The trick was to not let him see it. I said, Okay, well, can you let Enola go and then tell me about it? He looked down at Enola. I clicked my phone on and pressed the emergency link, bringing up the call pad. He said, No, I think I'll keep her right here with me. What are you doing? The screen cast light in the room, revealing my plan as I paused with my thumb over the dial pad. I had to take a chance. I pressed the 3 numbers and waited for a voice before I yelled, There's an intruder in my house! I hoped the call went through and the operator heard me. Hey, I don't mean to interrupt the story while it's getting good, but have you liked the video yet? Because if not, you should definitely pause the video real quick, hit the like button, subscribe, and the little bell icon so that you'll be notified as soon as the next video comes up, and let's get back to your story. He lunged out of the chair and across the room with the gun in his hand, and I tossed the phone under the bed, out of reach. Backing away, I screamed, He has a gun! Enola slipped from his grasp when David's hand arced down, landing hard across my right temple. The pain was immediate, and my vision went white for a second. He said, Don't say another word. He walked up and placed the gun to my forehead. The metal barrel was cold against my skin, and I froze. For a moment, I stopped breathing. Enola was bouncing off the walls angry, barking and carrying on. He kicked at her, but she dodged his shoe. He turned his focus back to me, his face distorted with rage. He swung his gun around and aimed it at Enola. No! I screamed and pushed him. The gun went off with a loud bang, echoing in my ears, and David fell backward. I toppled over him and grappled for his gun hand, trying to keep it pointed away from my dog and me. I was shocked by his strength and knew he would get the upper hand any second. He head-butted me on the mouth. Stunned, I stumbled backward and landed on my ass. I cursed when he stood, pointing the gun at me again. Searing pain made me cut my hand over my mouth where blood dripped into my palm. My eyes watered. Enola ran to me and I snatched her up, holding her to my chest with one arm as I scooted back, trying to get as far from David as I could. He pursued me until my back hit the side table next to my bed. I leaned against it and put my free hand up to block the gun's aim. Please, I cried out. The words sounded slurred through my numb lips, but I yelled them anyway. Please don't kill me. I don't know what you want. What do you want from me? I began to sob. I was helpless. I was going to die. Okay. Oh my God. So it's right in the middle of the action. You're definitely going to want to hit that notifications button below because you're not going to want to miss what happens next. Obviously, it's going to be from Reuben's perspective, so we got to figure out what he's up to and how's he going to react when he finds out Neesa's in trouble. Oh, oh my gosh. So tune in next time. And I know this was a short one, so skip right on over to the next one. And I will see you there.